Chris Thomas from PrepXtra here. It is finally state championship week in high school football. The Blue Cross Bowl kicks off at Tennessee Tech's Tucker Stadium starting Thursday at 4 p.m. with Webb taking on Battleground Academy. That game and all games in the PrepXtra coverage area will be televised by MyVLT. We're going to go ahead and start with that Division II Class A championship game. Webb facing Battleground Academy for the second time this season. This matchup is a rematch of an October meeting that went till 1 a.m. in the morning due to a rain delay. Webb won that game 34-28, and they won that despite throwing an interception that went for a touchdown, a long touchdown by Battleground Academy that went for about 80 yards, and then also giving up a kick return for a touchdown. So they ended up winning that game despite those things. David Meskey saying this week that he's made kick returns and kick coverage kind of a point of emphasis in practice. I expect that continues for Webb into this game. Again, just Webb trying to chase their third straight championship. They've never won 3 state titles before. My gut says that they get that on Thursday. Also this week, you move to Friday. Friday, you're going to have Coalfield taking on Union City at noon Eastern time. This is a Coalfield team that had never been to this point before. Zach Stewart, the Tennessee offensive line commitment, he kind of anchors that club. They've been underdogs all through the playoffs most of the time, having to go on the road win. They beat Greenback. They got all these wins. Now they're playing in their first state championship game against a Union City squad that won a state title a year ago, and they've beaten teams handily this season. Coalfield's going to be the underdog again in this, but that's been a role they've kind of relished up to this point. It'll be interesting to see how they come out. Can they force some turnovers, because they're going to likely be overmatched. Outside of Stewart's position, they're going to be overmatched on the football field. Also on Friday, you move to the second game that day. Alcoa will take on Christ Presbyterian Academy at 4 p.m. It's the second straight year that these two teams have met in the state finals. Gary Rankin getting past Ken Netherland last week. On the all-time wins list, he can finally move forward, just focus on football. This is a very physical Alcoa football team. Last year, if you remember in the state finals, Jaquez Tyson, who was a Mr. Football finalist, he had a huge game against CPA that really willed Alcoa to that championship. Alcoa is chasing their 14th overall title. I would look for more of the same with Tyson and even Malik Mitchell, another Mr. Football finalist, to really get that done. Also on Friday, in the 8 p.m. game, you've got West taking on a very, very athletic Hillsborough team. West, we know the storyline there. It's been well documented. They came 1 point short of winning their first state title last year. It was the first time they had played in the title game. There were jitters. Seth Marshall remembers kind of being there for about an hour before the game and just not really knowing what to do. There was this downtime. Warm-ups were a little faster. Now spin it forward another year. This group is ready to go. They weren't intimidated at all being in the press conference on Monday. Kind of setting up these championships. It seems like, if anything happens, Scott Cummings saying, look, this stage isn't going to be too big for us this year. I don't think it was last year, but clearly they didn't know what to expect. I think they're a little more comfortable heading into this matchup against a Hillsborough team that is very, very athletic, led by 4-star defensive end Kyle Phillips. Then you spin it to Saturday. In the 4 p.m. game, Fulton will be taking on Trezevant. And this is a Fulton team that, again, like Webb, has never won 3 straight championships. They lost a lot of pieces off of last year's squad, but still are about 35 points shy of breaking the single-season scoring record that they set in 2013. That'll be an interesting matchup just to watch how Fulton really tries to finish what they started. It's been a while since this team has lost, approaching 34, 35 games. And I think everybody would consider the Falcons favorites to win their 3rd straight title. And then the big one in Class 6A at 8 p.m. on Saturday evening, you're going to have Miravalle taking on a Ravenwood squad. These are 2 14-0 teams. Ravenwood hasn't been to this point in quite a while. They won a title in 2005. Finished runner-up in 2006, but really hit a down spell after that. Meanwhile, Miravalle, George Corals, they're playing in their 11th straight state title game. Tyler Vaught, the Air Force commit, was stellar for Miravalle at the quarterback position against Oakland a week ago. Quarles did a good job of getting him on the edge, allowing his players to make plays in space. That defense at Miravalle, which has been so good all season long, really shut down a really explosive Oakland running attack. They'll face another explosive attack this week in Ravenwood, which really can do a lot more in terms of the passing game maybe than Oakland could last week, especially with a backup quarterback. Of course, this Ravenwood team, we know about Van Jefferson, the Georgia wide receiver commit. He was a Mr. Football finalist. He'll be a matchup problem for anybody he faces. But as I was talking to both coaches this week, anytime you get Miravalle in the field, they're not going to have the most Division I talent. But they're always going to play hard. They're always going to be well coached. And Quarles seems to find ways to get these guys to win championships. This is a matchup that I think sets up well for Miravalle. I think the Oakland matchup might have been the state title game, even though it was played in the semifinals. And again, these games will be televised by MyVLT. You can also check PrepXtra.com and KnoxNews.com for live updates on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Follow me on Twitter at PrepXtra or at Chris Thomas KNS. Our former Preps editor Jesse Smithy will also be there covering the action in Cookeville. You can follow him at JM Smithy. And we look forward to obviously another good season of high school football coming to an end. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Thomas.